It is a friendly town. Okay, well, I'll go ahead and get started so you guys don't have to wait any longer. I'm Kim. I'm the Missouri Director with the American Board. We are a nonprofit organization. Initially, we were founded or funded by the United States Department of Education, and that was back in 2001. We've been in Missouri since 2008, so we are fully approved by the state of Missouri to offer this alternative certification program, and we are also recognized by DESE, the Department of Elementary and Secondary Ed, to offer this as our alternative certification program for the state of Missouri. Are you all familiar with DESE? A little bit. So they're the organization who will ultimately certify you. We are the route to certification, and DESE's guidelines is that you complete an approved route to certification. So different routes to certification would be obviously to go back to school, to get another undergrad, to get a master's, or to complete an alternative certification program, which is what we are. So once you complete this program and fulfill the contact hour requirements, which we'll get into, then you will have a full and complete state certification, which is the exact same certification that you would have if you would go through any other routes. So just so you all are clear that if you go through this program, it is completely recognized by the state and by the Department of Elementary and Secondary Ed. So the requirements to go through this program are a bachelor's degree. Your degree has to come from an accredited university, and you can get on the U.S. Department of Education's website to make sure your school's accredited. You must have a 2.5 cumulative grade point average, and then you have to be able to pass a background check as well. The 2.5 grade point average is, I believe, going up in 2017 to 2.75. So if you're on the cusp there, or right around the 2.5, or in between 2.5 and 2.75, you definitely don't want to wait until next year to get certified, because you would have to take then extra classes to boost your GPA. So here's how the program works. You enroll in the program at any time. There is no semesters or certain start dates or classroom time. You enroll whenever is good for you, and then you have 1 year from that date to complete the program. And then we're going to work a little bit backwards here. The completion of the program happens when you pass our 2 exams. So the first exam everyone in the program has to take is our teaching assessment exam, and that's what we call the Professional Teaching Knowledge, or PTK. Again, that's our teaching assessment exam. It's 100 multiple choice questions and 1 essay question, and you do have to pass the essay to pass the full exam. And then the other test you would have to pass is your subject area. So whatever area you're getting certified in, then you would pass that corresponding exam. So for Missouri, let me see if I have a Missouri specific card, and I will hold this up. For Missouri, we offer biology, chemistry, English, general science, math, physics, history, and elementary education as well, which isn't on this card.
No more special ed?
No, we've never been able to offer special ed in Missouri.
I thought they did.
No, we haven't, unfortunately. And hopefully at some point we do, but at this point we're not. Now, that's not to say you cannot go ahead and get your special ed certification once you're through this program.
Right.
All you would have to do then is take an exam with DESE to add that on. And in fact, if you take the elementary ed, or if you go the elementary ed route with our program, you would have access to the special ed study materials, but you wouldn't be able to get certified in it, but you would have access to those. Biology, chemistry, and physics are high school certifications. Math, history, general science, and English are middle school and high school certifications. And then elementary ed is grades 1 through 6. So you would choose any of those to go through this program with, and you can choose more than one. There is an additional cost, obviously, but you do get all of the study materials that come with those programs when you enroll in the program. Yes?
You said general science was middle and high?
Yes. It's 5 through 9, 9 through 12. Uh-huh.
Okay.
So general science would cover biology, chemistry, physics, and middle school science as well. There's pros and cons to doing general science as opposed to just biology, and it's, really up to you, or maybe whatever the school you're interested in teaching is needing. So if it's maybe a larger school, then they would want maybe their biology and chemistry teachers to have specified biology, chemistry certifications. If it's maybe a smaller school and they're wanting you to teach multiple sciences, then you're going to be great with a general science certification. So it's really up to you and the school that you're interested in working at as to what their needs are and what they require specifically in the sciences. So again, we're working backwards a little bit here. So once those 2 exams are passed, that's when you complete the program. So you have that full year from the day you enroll to complete these exams. However, it's a self-paced, self-study program. So you really determine how quickly you want to get through the program. And of course, you know, what you're doing outside of this program is going to determine too probably how much time it takes you to get through. Our average candidate takes about 8 to 10 months to get through this program. And I can't necessarily give you specific hours that you need every week to study, but I can tell you that our average candidate has a full-time job and usually 1 child at home. So they're getting through this program in about 8 to 10 months. So if you're not working full-time, don't have kids, you could potentially get through it a lot quicker. It's also going to be, you know, determined on what knowledge you're already bringing to the table. You know, if you've been working in this field, say you're wanting to go the biology route and you've been working in biology for years, you know, you might get through the study materials a lot quicker. But regardless, you do have a full year to complete both of those exams. And the way the program is laid out, when you enroll in the program, all of the study materials are available to you right from the get-go. That said, we have it kind of structured for you. You don't have to follow what we have laid out for you, but we have it structured to where you would begin studying for the teaching assessment exam first. So in that situation, you would have 4 modules of study materials for the PTK exam. So module 1, and this is just kind of a hypothetical because I don't have it right in front of me, but module 1 would be something like classroom management, module 2, classroom scenarios, module 3, something else, module 4, something else. Within each of those modules, there's going to be multiple types of study materials. Reading material, and all of our reading material you can print out. They're PDF files, which most people do. Print them out, put them in a binder so they can highlight. There are videos, workshops, how to teach workshops, refresher courses. Any of the videos you also have access to the entire time, so you can watch multiple times and take notes on, which I definitely recommend doing. So again, within each of those modules, there's multiple types of study materials. At the end of those 4 modules, there will be a practice exam. And the practice exam has about 300 questions on it. You can take the practice exam as often as you want, and it does tell you where you've missed. And we typically tell candidates that if you're getting an 80% or higher on this practice exam, then you're likely ready to go on and take the actual exam. The exams are taken at a Pearson VUE testing facility. You will have online registration info with Pearson VUE once you enroll in the program. So you would schedule your exams whenever is convenient to you. So again, kind of going back to the study materials, you go through those 4 study modules, take the practice exam, and then go take that exam. Come back and study your 4 modules for your subject area, and then go and take that. Typically, each module takes around a month, so you can look at about 4 months per exam. So that's where we're kind of getting that 8-month timeline. But again, just a reminder, you have a full year to pass these exams. If you don't pass the exams the first time, and by the way, the costs of the exam are included in the price of the program, which we'll get into pricing in a little bit, but the costs of the exams are covered in the price of the program. Should you not pass it the first time, you may take each exam up to 3 times. There is a retake fee should you not pass it the first time, though. And then I will tell you that Mathematica, which is an organization that does many educational studies, did a study on our program and determined that if you study all of the materials that are available to you, then we would have a 96% pass rate. So truly all of the study materials for you to be successful are there with your study materials. As well as, we're not here just to help you pass these 2 exams. We really want our teachers to be successful. And we have a 95% approval rating by administrators. So we want to make sure that you are prepared and ready to walk into a classroom, know what you're doing, and know how to handle the classroom and your subject area on a professional and successful basis. So all of that material, the pedagogy that you'll need to, manage a classroom and run a classroom, is also provided for you within these study materials. So before I move on from that, are there any questions about the study materials or the exams?
So is the test, is it a state-driven exam that we take for the subject area, or is it
No.
through this program?
It's through this program.
Okay.
Exactly. Both of these exams are the American Board ABCTE exams.
It's not the praxis.
No. In fact, DESE doesn't offer the praxis anymore either. Well, they don't go with the praxis company now. They're using Pearson VUE, so you can take other exams through DESE, but the praxis is no longer offered either. Now, you will, and I want to say within 1 year, you'll have to take a DESE exam that is Missouri specific to become highly qualified. And that's, again, for every teacher in the state of Missouri is having to take this exam.
When you take the practice test, you mentioned there were 300 questions, but is there a practice essay question?
There will be many essay questions that you can go through and see what an acceptable answer is and then a non-acceptable answer. As far as, and you can take any of those and write your own essay, but as far as submitting it for it to be graded, no, there is not. So, you're kind of on your own. The best advice I can give for the essay questions is don't overcomplicate it. And that's where a lot of people miss, to be honest, because you have to pass this essay to pass the exam, and there is a possibility of 0 to 5 points. So you have to get a 3. I believe it's a 3. I'm sorry. I believe it's a grade of 3 to pass this exam. And, this essay, it's not, the essay questions aren't difficult essay questions. They're very straightforward. But what they're looking for as far as grading goes is to make sure that you have followed their instructions very specifically. So, let's say they've asked you to write home a letter with your student about an upcoming school fundraiser. And then they'll tell you in, X, Y, and Z paragraphs, talk about this fundraiser. And it'll give you, more specifics than that. But they want to make sure that you've done X, Y, and Z. And don't write it like you're writing it to for a professor to read. Write it like you're writing it to parents. If it says you're writing a letter to parents, write a letter like you would to parents, because maybe the kid in your class has to translate for the parents. And if it's a really structured letter that, maybe only a professor is going to be able to understand, that's going to actually count against you. Spelling and grammar are huge. There's no spell check. So you want to make sure that, you've spelled everything correctly as well. That's a big part of it. But the best advice I've really been able to give people is don't overcomplicate the essay and really answer the questions as in the order and the way that they're asking.
And when you take the test, it's timed?
Yes, it is timed. There is you can do a 1-week free trial on our website that's going to give you a glimpse into the study materials. And also there is on our website the study plans. So you can look, and I'll send you this in the follow-up email for people that come to the sessions. There is a study plan page that you can look at each of our subject areas and for the PTK test. And it's going to tell you how much time you get per exam, how many multiple choice questions, the passing grade, the point scaling, and very specifically what's covered on each of these exams. So for you all, I will send you a follow-up email that has that link directly in that email. Any other questions so far? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, one quick. Yeah, I know you went over it. How many questions are on each exam?
They all differ a little bit. All of the PTK test has 100 multiple choice questions
And an essay.
All of the subject area exams, those differ a little bit, but they are all multiple choice. The English essay, or the English exam, has 1 essay question, but most of the subject area exams range from 140. They all might be 100, right at 150 multiple choice questions. But the passing grade for each of them differ a little bit. History does have 2 exams. So if you're looking at history, you would have to take 3 exams total because it has a U.S. history and a world history along with your teaching assessment exam. So that one does have 3. Any other
And
questions?
your certification is in several states, but the history is not in all of those, correct?
I'm not sure exactly off the top of my head what state's history is not offered in, but
I know it is in Missouri.
It is in Missouri.
And before, when I was looking into this, if I remember correctly, Missouri was the only state out of the ones you were serving that was recognizing the history.
No, it looks like history is in all states that we are
Okay.
in at this point. Now, reading endorsement and general science, that's in every state too, but reading endorsement is not
Okay,
in
well,
every
then
state, nor is
that's-
special education.
That's something that's changed then since I was.
Okay. Yeah, but I believe, history is in every state. Okay, so once you have passed both of those exams, we will send you a completion certificate that you've completed our program. You will then want to send that certificate to DESE. Before DESE will certify you, though, you do have to make sure you complete contact hours. And here's how contact hours works. I don't know if anyone's interested in elementary ed, but we're going to start there. Elementary education is a 90 contact hour requirement. Any of our other subject areas is a 60-hour contact hour requirement. And here's how the contact hours work. 60 hours is about a week and a half. 90 hours is about 2 weeks. All past hours worked count towards your contact hours. And here's how you get them. The number one way to get contact hours is by substitute teaching. That's usually the easiest and quickest way to get your contact hours. Another way, though, is to be a paraprofessional. And if you go the paraprofessional route, you do have to be a lead instructor while you're being a para. So you have to work as the lead instructor for that classroom. You may also be the lead instructor in a public or private school. Obviously, that's the least, probably not the number one way to get contact hours is by being a lead instructor, because to be a lead instructor, typically you have to become certified. But in Missouri, many private schools and charter schools, you may, get a teaching position without being certified. So if you've done any lead instruction in a public, private, or charter school, that does count as your contact hours. But again, substitute teaching is the number one way to get contact hours. I will send you on the follow-up email the contact hours log, so you can fill that out for your contact hours. And that is a DESE requirement as well. It's not an American Board requirement. So if you do have specific questions around the contact hours and what counts or what doesn't count, you would want to take those questions directly to DESE. But I do have the contact hours form from their website that I can send to you. Any questions about contact hours?
Before, here again, I've looked into this before, and they not only had contact hours, but they had a certain amount of professional development that you were supposed to have participated in, and just different types of contact other than just being in a classroom. Is that still the case, or is it just purely?
No, to become certified, all you need is the contact hours and the completion from us.
Okay.
Now, once you get in, the professional development you do have to have, but that's once you start teaching, not prior to getting certified.
See. Okay.
So, any other questions about contact hours, and then I will go on and kind of go into that a little bit. Okay. So you receive your contact hours, you submit all that to DESE, you have the completion certificate from us. They have verified now that you have your degree, your GPA requirement, and your background check. They've done all of that, and at that point they will issue you your IPC, or your initial professional certificate. And that is the same certificate that every teacher in the state of Missouri receives. The IPC is good for 4 years, but that is your state license to teach. So at that point, you may get a job in any public, private, or charter school within the state of Missouri in your area of certification. So there's a 4-year timeline on that IPC. It expires in 4 years. So you do have to get a teaching position within that time frame, or it will expire. Once you start teaching, you will teach for 2 years, and you have to complete professional development hours. I believe they are 30 professional development hours. All teachers when they're teaching, when they're working in a school, have to complete professional development hours. That's a state requirement. So your school district, once you start with the school district, they really do a great job of monitoring your professional development hours. You will go through a mentoring program as well. And again, that's for all incoming teachers, not just teachers who have gone through this program, but you'll go through a mentoring program. And what that is you will be given a mentor at your school. Really, it's a support person that will help you out your first couple of years of teaching, someone that you'll be able to go to for any questions regarding teaching you have in your first couple of years. And then you will have to get a positive principal evaluation. So once you have done all of those requirements within your first 2 years, then you will receive your Missouri Career Continuous Professional Certificate. And that is your ongoing, they don't call it a lifetime certificate anymore, but it's essentially your lifetime certificate. So that's the process to become certified in Missouri. It really is that straightforward. There's, it's the simplest way that I have ever found in the state of Missouri to become certified. The process is very simple. The exams are not. The exams are pretty rigorous. That's going to be the hardest part of this program is the exams. But if you have self-discipline and you have the time to get through this program in under a year, then this really is what I've found after doing a lot of research, the best way to become certified in the state of Missouri quickly and the most efficiently and for the least amount of money. So I will get into the money now if you guys don't have any other questions so far.
One quick thing, if you do not complete in a year, you can purchase extensions, correct?
Yes. You may always purchase a 6-month extension. If you're coming up on your year and you're not complete, then yes, you may purchase a 6-month extension. Good question. Anything else before I get into pricing? Okay. On the back of this pamphlet, at the bottom, the top chart is a comparison chart between our program and other programs. Obviously there's many pros, I feel, going through this program in comparison to, let's say, going back and getting a master's. The price difference is going to be the biggest, but I also think that, the student teaching, we're not required to have our candidates do student teaching, which I think is such a huge pro. Many of our candidates, are well beyond college age and have jobs, and therefore just can't, take 3 to 4 months of no pay to go through a student teaching program. And while it's likely very advantageous to do at maybe the age of 19 and 20 while you're in college, we really feel strongly that what our candidates are bringing to the table as far as field experience is really going to trump what you would get out of a student teaching experience at this point in most people's careers anyways. So with that being said, you're going to be looking at the Plus program or the Premium program at the bottom of this pamphlet. The Plus program and the Premium program both are going to give you all of the study materials that you need for your PTK test and your subject area exam. The only difference really is the Premium program offers a subject area workbook. So let me start by saying the Premium program is not offered in elementary ed or general science or history. It's really geared towards the upper level sciences and the math and English if you're interested in going the English route, because there are around 100 literary works you have to be familiar with. So that subject area workbook really helps you with all of those. And one kind of thing that I've told people is if you're really proficient in your subject area, then you're likely fine to go with the Plus program. But if this is a new subject area for you or one that maybe you haven't studied in a few years, then for $200 more, it's definitely worth it to get the Premium program. But that's totally your personal choice. So the Plus program, our base price for the Plus program is $2,850. You're only going to pay that amount if you do our 8-month installment plan. And the way that works is it spreads the payments out over 8 equal payments over 8 months. So you would make the first payment when you enroll, and then each additional month you would make another payment. The other option, every week we start a new pay in full promotion, and our pay in full promotion is usually a significant amount lower than the base price. So right now, for example, our pay in full promotion is $1,950. So almost $1,000 less if you do the pay in full. Next week will be a new promotion. And then we also offer financial assistance, and our financial assistance is solely based on household income. So if you meet our income guidelines, then you could qualify for our financial assistance. And if you qualify, then it makes the cost of the program $1,700, and you can do the 8-month installment on the financial assistance. And the last thing I'll say about finances or payments for this program, if you think you might meet our income guidelines, or you are or have been a dislocated or unemployed person for the last 2 years, then I highly recommend talking to a Missouri Career Center, because they offer what's called the Workforce Investment Act, or WIA program, and it helps financially qualified people who follow their financial guidelines, or who fall into their financial guidelines, or if you have been dislocated or an unemployed person, and you apply for the Workforce Investment Act and get it accepted, then they would cover the cost of this program in full. So it's a really great program. And again, you can talk to any Missouri Career Center about the WIA Act to see if you might qualify. And then let them know that you would like to go into the American Board program, because we are a WIA approved program. Any questions now that we've pretty much gone through it all? So anything you can think of to ask, now's the time to do it.
Premium applied to which ones again?
Premium applies to all of the subject areas except history, general science, and elementary ed.
I'm sorry, what were they again?
History, general science, elementary ed is not covered with the premium.
Okay.
Any other questions at all? Okay. Well, you're always welcome to email me, and I will give all of you my card. But if you're watching, then you could email me at kpolk@americanboard.org, or find other email addresses for our home office on our website. Thank you guys so much for coming.